Have you ever wondered how Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on imports have redrawn the global trade map? While many headlines focused on the U.S.-China clash, a quieter revolution has unfolded in Southeast Asia, and Malaysia is at its epicenter. Countries once heavily dependent on the American market are now rethinking their manufacturing, sourcing, and export strategies. Why? Because Trump-era tariffs, some as high as 50%, have made U.S. imports increasingly uncompetitive, forcing businesses worldwide to seek safer, more cost-effective supply chains. This massive shift has propelled Malaysia into the spotlight. Blessed with a stable political environment, strong trade ties through the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, and a booming electronics sector, Malaysia is uniquely positioned as a neutral ground where companies can produce and export without getting caught in tariff crossfire. For nations from Vietnam to Chile, moving production or forging partnerships in Malaysia offers an opportunity to sidestep punitive tariffs while accessing world-class infrastructure and skilled labor. The result? Countries across Asia, Latin America, and even traditional U.S. allies are increasingly choosing Malaysia as their preferred hub. From high-tech semiconductors to automotive components, Malaysia is fast becoming the go-to destination for future-proofing supply chains. So why exactly are these countries flocking to Malaysia over the USA? Let's break down the top 10 countries that have shifted their loyalties, revealing how each is betting on Malaysia as their new trade and production partner. Backhand index pointing right before we dive into the list, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss insightful updates on global economics and geopolitics. Number 1. Vietnam. Vietnam was among the first to capitalize on companies fleeing China, but as Trump's tariffs hit hard, U.S. Customs started scrutinizing Vietnamese exports for hidden Chinese components. To sidestep accusations of transshipment, Vietnamese manufacturers now set up operations in Malaysia, which has a clearer and more trusted export profile. Additionally, Malaysia's skilled electronics workforce allows Vietnamese firms to expand into high-value sectors like semiconductor testing and solar panel assembly, diversifying beyond their traditional textile and footwear dominance. Number 2. Thailand. Thailand's vibrant automotive sector, Asia's Detroit, faces major headaches with U.S. tariffs on cars and parts. By shifting engine component production and electronic modules to Malaysia's industrial parks in Penang and Johor, Thai firms protect themselves from potential tariffs that could cripple exports. They're also benefiting from Malaysia's free trade agreements, which allow smoother re-exports to Europe and emerging African markets, giving Thai companies a competitive edge beyond the U.S. market. Number 3. Indonesia. Indonesia's ambitions to be an EV battery giant have run into obstacles with steel and nickel tariffs disrupting their American export plans. That's why Indonesian companies, like those in the Morowali Industrial Park, are increasingly setting up joint ventures in Malaysia's free zones. Here, they can process nickel and battery components before shipping them out tariff-free. This shift is accelerating Malaysia's own EV ambitions, positioning both countries as Southeast Asia's new powerhouses in green technology. Number 4. Cambodia. Cambodia's once booming apparel sector is under siege due to U.S. tariffs reaching nearly 50% on certain garments, which has driven Western brands like H&M and Adidas to reconsider their sourcing strategies. Many now send unfinished textiles to Malaysia for final sewing, quality checks, and packaging. Malaysia's world-class ports and modern customs procedures ensure fewer delays, while its respected labor and environmental standards protect brands from scandals, something Cambodia struggles with. Number 5. Philippines. The Philippines' world-class electronics sector and call center industry are seeing new pressures from U.S. tariffs. By routing semiconductor testing and finishing through Malaysian facilities, Philippine electronics firms like Integrated Microelectronics Incorporated can avoid costly tariffs while leveraging Malaysia's advanced manufacturing environment. Philippine IT companies are also exploring partnerships in Malaysia's data centers, boosting both nations' competitiveness in the rapidly growing digital economy. Number 6. South Korea. For South Korean giants like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai, U.S. tariffs have added significant costs to already tight global margins. To safeguard profits, Korean firms are increasingly completing key parts of production in Malaysia. For example, semiconductors can undergo packaging and testing in Malaysian factories, where lower labor costs and tariff-safe exports ensure Korean products remain attractive in the American market. Furthermore, Malaysia's investment incentives have led Korean firms to build new R&D centers in Penang, strengthening tech collaboration. Number 7. Japan. Japan's storied brands are experts at hedging geopolitical risk. Panasonic, Sony, and Toyota have steadily expanded operations in Malaysia, using it as an alternative export base when U.S. policies turn unpredictable. Beyond just electronics, Japanese food and pharmaceutical companies are using Malaysia's halal certification system to access Muslim markets in the Middle East and Africa, growing areas where Malaysia's trade links complement Japan's manufacturing prowess. Number 8. Mexico. Mexico's proximity to the U.S. once guaranteed easy exports, but Trump's tariff threats on Mexican goods shattered that certainty. Fearing further trade tensions, Mexican firms in electronics, furniture, and even auto parts are hedging bets by investing in Malaysian manufacturing. They're attracted by Malaysia's membership in RCEP, which provides tariff-free trade with 14 Asia-Pacific nations, opening doors beyond the sometimes volatile U.S. market. Number 9. Chile and Argentina. In Latin America, countries like Chile and Argentina may not seem obvious players in the Asian supply chain race, but they are keenly watching Malaysia's rising stature. Chilean wine and salmon exporters, along with Argentine soy and beef producers, are exploring value-added processing in Malaysia before shipping goods to Asia or North America. This allows them to leverage Malaysia's free trade deals and world-class logistics infrastructure, while protecting themselves from arbitrary tariffs that could derail profits. Number 10. India. India's massive push to become a global electronics hub still faces gaps in supply chain maturity, making Malaysia's seasoned industry a perfect partner. By assembling smartphones, laptops, and solar equipment in Malaysia, Indian companies bypass potential tariffs on Indian-made goods while accelerating delivery to American and European customers. Meanwhile, Indian pharmaceutical and chemical companies increasingly rely on Malaysian ports for re-exporting goods, given Malaysia's strong logistics connections and efficient customs procedures. Trump's tariffs aim to punish unfair trade, but they've done something else entirely. They've turbocharged Malaysia's emergence as a manufacturing and export powerhouse. From Asia to Latin America, countries worried about unpredictable U.S. trade policy are moving operations or forging partnerships in Malaysia. With world-class infrastructure, a strategic ASEAN location, and robust free trade agreements, Malaysia has become a safe harbor for global firms reconfiguring their supply chains. As we've seen, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia, the Philippines, South Korea, Japan, India, Mexico, Chile, and Argentina have all made significant moves toward Malaysia. The new reality? Companies worldwide increasingly see Malaysia not just as an alternative, but as a preferred production hub over the USA when tariffs threaten their competitiveness. The big question now is, can Malaysia sustain this momentum and manage the geopolitical balancing act between Western and Asian superpowers? If it can, Malaysia's rise as a global manufacturing center may be just getting started.